Welcome back to The Vocalist. Today we are listening to Iron Maiden again. The song is Fear of the Dark, and this is a live performance from Rock in Rio. Here we go.
A light in the black, or just a fear of the dark.
I'm gonna keep going, but I mean, come on. The fact that the entire crowd is singing along with this guitar line speaks volumes to the song itself, but also the band and what they've created. This is just, it's already so thrilling, and it's barely begun.
Dark room, night are strolling through the park. When the light begins to fade, sometimes feel a little strange, a little anxious when it's dark. Fear of the dark, fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always there. Fear of the dark, you. Fear of the dark. Have a phobia. Someone's always there.
I'm sorry, we're gonna be here a while. I think I've heard 2 songs. I mean, I've heard some other songs from Iron Maiden, but I've done 2 formal reactions on the channel. So I might be repeating some of the stuff that I said previously about Bruce Dickinson, but oh my gosh, his diction, it sends chills down my spine to hear a rock vocalist be so intentional with pronunciation. I think is so thrilling. We're gonna catch a little bit more of the crowd singing along. Obviously, I wasn't anticipating that. All I could think was, what would it have been like to be a musician on stage? Or, maybe this has happened to them at other concerts, but the first time that happens, to hear an audience of that size singing a melody back to you or alongside you, that just must have been so cool for them. But yes, we're gonna talk vocals now. Here we go.
I am a man who walks alone when I'm walking a dark room. Night are strolling through the park.
So much already. At the start of this, there's certainly more texture in his voice, which personally I think is really smart. If this was a standalone song, I would think it was really smart. It being in a full concert, I think, is that much more brilliant, because it's a way for him to preserve his voice, not only because he's using a lot of variety, but also when you're at the bottom of your range and you need those chords to vibrate, it's okay to back off the air pressure. And oftentimes, yes, that will create some sort of texture in the voice. So here, it's very speech-like. We're getting some tone, like you can follow along with a melody, but it feels more like he's speaking here because of that texture. But then later, he pushes that sound forward. We're getting a very different timbre and yet in the same range. So I enjoy that variety. Let me point that out.
The man who walks alone when I'm walking a dark room.
Right there. It's almost like there's this added snarl, and that vowel certainly helps, that I kind of sound, but he's pulling so much of that forward, and you can hear how much more presence there is in the sound because of it.
I am a man who walks alone when I'm walking a dark room. Night strolling through the park.
Every single ending K consonant sound is so percussive and so deliberate and so crisp. I just love it so much.
When the light begins to fade, sometimes feel a little strange, a little anxious when it's dark. Fear of the dark. Fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always there.
It's almost, constant fear that something's always there. It's giving me this sort of Jekyll and Hyde vibes, because the other thing with his vocals in this particular section of this particular song, he does a lot of things with his voice, but right now there is a stage quality, because with his inflection, it feels almost like he's telling a story.
Fear of the dark, you. Fear of the dark. Have a phobia. Someone's always there.
Just then going from someone's always there, huge shift in resonance and placement and the way he's creating sound. And it's so cool to hear in such a short span. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, let me get that again.
Have a phobia. Someone's always there.
Stop. I know this is, we got a ways to go, but I just can't get over this sound. The energy alone, I'm exhausted watching it in a good way. I just marvel at how much energy he maintains whilst controlling these sounds. So much control is needed with breath pressure alone, and we're not even talking about all of the shifts that he is making with placement and resonance and space and vowels. I think I already will back it up a little more.
Sometimes when you stand to take a look at the corner of the room, it says that something's watching you.
This just feels so steady. As far as the vocal line is concerned, he's not gasping, he's not taking a lot of breaks or pauses. It just feels like a laser beam in what I consider that sort of core mixed tone of his. Now there, dark, you can hear how much height he had in that particular vowel. The next time he sings it, it's much more spread. Constantly going back and forth between that speech-like approach and singing. So we're able to track the melody and yet at the beginning like have so much texture, and that sort of weaves in and out. I love the timing change on this. Already there's been 3 very distinct sections. Who knows how many more there might be, and we're not even 4 minutes in. I mean, just the variety, it's so thrilling. Okay, there's something about, I mean, any sort of intense music genre, metal, rock, sometimes there is a really strong beat and I enjoy it, but I don't know if I was there live, would I be jumping up and down? There is something about this melody, the timing that they're shifting so much. I mean, it is like, I don't even know, vibrating in my chest. Like, it feels so exciting that I think it would absolutely force me, not even encourage, force me to move and jump up and down and just be so in the moment because it's so good. I don't know. I'm just really enjoying this. You know what? I'm really glad that shout approach is so healthy. It's so healthy for singers. And I know there is this misconception that, well, shouting is bad. You know, when it comes to singing, a lot of us, we don't innately make a lot of shouting sounds in our everyday lives. And so if you're trying to figure out your mix and you're trying to make these big sounds, when singers are hesitant, when singers sort of shy away from this shouting approach, that can actually lead to strain. There's a time and a place for building your range and doing it in a very gentle, soft way. But we have muscles that were made to project, to make loud sounds. And I often reference, kids on a playground. They're not screaming, well, not all of them are screaming in a really shrill, sort of head dominant place. It's very projected, but very comfortable. They're not coming home from the playground with hoarse voices or going into the classroom unable to talk. Like, they were just making loud sounds in a mixed voice. And so when you hear him speak in this projected way that feels very shouty, and then you hear him sing, and the tones, they line up so beautifully, and they're so similar because the technique is the same and it's very healthy. And he's the difference between him and a lot of other singers trying to do the same thing is he's just mastered it. Like, he's figured it out, and he does it in a way that's really well supported, not just, from the neck up, but like using his full body, using proper breath support. Proper. That's very subjective, but he's using good, solid breath support for his body to achieve these sounds. Okay. Tangent over. You can tell his, the way he takes advantage of resonance is so well aligned, because from bottom to top, the tone, if he wants to, matches. Yes, he puts a lot of variety in his performances, and he shifts placement, and he does a lot of things that are really exciting, but you could hear just then the tone, the sound, the overall aesthetic of his voice at the bottom matched what he did at the top, despite having to move into a different register. I don't know, man, his playing tricks. He says that suddenly I speaks. The dancing shadows from behind. Fear of the dark. Fear of the dark. I have a constant feeling something's always near. Fear of the dark. Fear of the dark. I have a moment that someone's always there. Fear of the dark. Yeah. Fear of the dark. Something's always near. Fear of the dark. Fear of the dark. California. Someone's always there. When I'm walking a dark road, I am a man who walks alone. I really enjoyed that we got to hear very little texture at the end of this song. He was in a similar range that he was in the beginning, where we got more of that grit and that gravelly sound. So to hear him really fully adduct the chords and just give us that really smooth tone, I think was such a cool way to end the whole piece. The only other thing I'll comment on is just how tight their transitions were with the timing and everything. Yes, I realize it's Iron Maiden. They're professionals. They performed countless times with one another, but I'm still just so impressed with how clean those transitions were. And especially in live performance, when there's so much intensity and you've got the crowd and a lot going on, they make it look so easy. And yes, at some point it probably becomes muscle memory, but I think the amount of work that had to go into that kind of preparation at the beginning of this song's creation and those early performances, I think it just speaks volumes to their musicianship and musicality and who they are as artists. So that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for this recommendation and for watching with me, and hopefully I will see you next time.